So this is my first attempt at video tactics. Let's see how it goes. So this is Blood and Steel 10 on 10s, First Swords versus Executioners. We can start by taking a look at the initial lineup. We can't quite see the Executioners over there, but you can kind of see from the shadows it's basically a straight line. There's some slight angles to it, but no real echelon, no real formation. Versus, if you look at the First Swords, it's pretty much an echelon, but there's a little bit of staggering where the left side is way behind the right side. So that's where the initial setup happens. That's not as big a deal. It's what happens next as we move forward. So First Swords, as you can see, walk and establish your standard echelon. Bam, bam, bam. Each of the inside flankers, so this guy here, could step a little inside more, so that their flanks looked a little bit more like that. But overall, it's pretty good. The back is still within the center unit, still within supporting range. You can see this guy here can easily step up and support. This guy here can easily step up and support. But they're far enough back. They have a lot of range. They can get a good run if they want to hit somebody. The Executioners we can't quite see yet, but when we are brought into field, you see that their echelon is pretty shitty. We have a tight angle here with a little spaced out, and we have an angle over here where the lead Executioner on the left is in line with the farthest back Executioner on the right. And if we go back a little bit, we can see what happened. So right here, you can see Al on the left is basically walking at a regular pace. And if we watch up on the right, right at the top, right here, you can see Jay gives a little push to Gary, tells him to run, and Gary just, boom, speed balls into the opposing line. But he's all on his own now. So we have to catch up. So we start to see work happening. Jay throws a couple of shots, lands on the helmet of the First Sword right there as the Executioners step forward. Now, the First Sword's kind of bunched up here, and you can see that their echelon becomes not so much a line as it is these two stacked up and this guy almost horizontal with them, and that breaks as he tries to file deep. So what ends up happening is Gary essentially draws aggro from three guys, letting Jay throw shots until one pushes his way through, but without any support from his fellows. So as we can see, we have two First Swords just sitting here, being tied up by Gary, while Lane and Jay on the other side, on the same side, are able to isolate this one First Sword. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, we can see Andrew's trying to send some fighters over there, but nothing's able to come of it, as each of the Executioners in the middle has just as good of a line in as this First Sword does to support. Any chance he runs in, he's likely to get picked up. Now, what's also worth noting is that on the left side, the Executioners, as you can see, have four men in a line. They've completely given up the echelon, going to a line formation and a tight line formation. And basically, they've stalled the left side of their First Swords from doing anything. If they want to get in, they have to run 3-on-4. So really, the middle of the First Swords needs to make a move right now, but just these two Executioners in the middle seem to be able to hold them off. So if we keep watching, you can see where it really starts to break down. Go back a little bit. This First Sword who got sent in kind of pauses right here. And this first sword in the middle dives deep, gets caught by 2. This first sword gets caught by 1 here, and this last guy is left to get picked up by Mangler. So it becomes a 3-on-4 turns into a 2-on-1, a 1-on-1, then finally a last 1-on-1. Down on the right, Jay and Lane have finished off their first sword up in the corner here, as the middle executioners finally make a push, shutting down the middle. Now, it's hard to really see what happens on that side, but as you can see over on the left here, wrong way. You can see on the left is this 2-on-1. One of the first swords manages to get in, but is unable to really do anything as he turns and has to engage the other executioner in the middle. As we keep watching, Cat gets free and starts to put his pole to work. On the right side, we still have those first swords stacked up right here, and as Jay is able to come in, he just starts landing some blows and just drops the pain. So we keep watching. What you're going to see, Jay drops a fighter over here. Eventually, Mangler and Lane put this fighter down here. John Calderon, I believe this is, over here, takes his fighter into the corner, and Al and Cat finally drop this fighter. Basically what ended up happening is a couple of early takedowns, primarily this one right here, and just some bad tactics, left 3 2-on-1s in the backfield, while whatever happened in the first sword's backfield, where they were not fast enough to capitalize. So if we watch, here's the drop by Jay. There's the drop by John Calderon. Gary's going to drop this fighter over a body. Jay comes in, and what you're going to see here is Gary pushes him to the corner as this fight over here moves to the corner as well. That's going to let Jay just start to do whatever he wants. He can throw into numerous fighters, and then that's basically the end of the fight right there. So the overall takeaway from this is that if you're going to run with an echelon, you need to commit that middle unit sooner, and you can't just break away from your line formation. The real takeaway is that if you break line formation and run in, you're allowing them to just stack you. And it's also, if your friend runs in, you need to support them. You probably have to break line engagement yourself, because you're already going to be down a man, and if he just goes down by himself on their side, well, now you're in a really shitty position. So I'm probably going to do a couple more of these. Tell me if you like them. Tell me if you hate them. Whatever. Peace.